Let's talk about Intel, a name that reigned supreme for nearly 25 years as the world's top chipmaker. If you've ever seen their iconic logo, that symbol everyone recognizes, it used to be a promise. Inside your device was the gold standard of technology. But today, things aren't what they used to be. Intel is grappling with tough times, and this isn't just a tale of numbers or charts. It's about how a titan of industry has slowly lost its edge. Picture a chart with bold yellow bars. Those represent Intel's cash flow. Don't let the bright color fool you, though. It's not a good sign. Last year alone, the company burned through nearly $16 billion, a staggering amount that shows they're spending faster than they can earn. It's a glaring red flag, hinting at deep troubles brewing in both of Intel's core businesses, chip manufacturing and chip design. It's a glaring red flag, hinting at deep troubles brewing in both of Intel's core businesses, chip manufacturing and chip design. On the manufacturing side, Intel was once untouchable. They churned out the most advanced chips in-house. But now they're lagging behind. And in design, where brilliant minds dream up the next generation of chips, Intel's shine has faded too. If you glance at a line tracking their market capitalization, it might not seem disastrous at first. But then, compare it to the soaring lines of competitors like AMD, Nvidia Idea, or TSMC, and the gap becomes painfully clear. That distance isn't just data, it's a story of falling behind in an industry that evolves by the hour. Now, a new CEO, let's call him Lip Bhutan for simplicity, has stepped into the spotlight with a near impossible mission: revive both sides of Intel's struggling empire. But this isn't a fix that happens overnight. The steps they can take are small, incremental, and each one is a gamble. To understand how Intel ended up here, we need to rewind the clock and look at a misstep from decades ago. A single domino that toppled into the massive barrier Lip Bhutan faces today. Intel was born in 1968, and for years, they ruled the chip world with an iron grip. Imagine a tiny silicon chip, a marvel tucked inside a simple casing, packing the power of millions of transistors, resistors, and diodes. That was Intel's magic, and it gave them a near monopoly. Back then, competitors were few and far between. Intel pumped out CPUs, the brains of computers, with unmatched quality, setting the bar for the entire industry. Buying a PC with Intel inside meant you had something you could trust. Their peak came in 1992 when Intel officially became the world's largest chipmaker by revenue. By 1997, a whopping 84% of the planet's computers ran on their chips, and in 2000, their stock hit an all-time high. They were the undisputed kings of tech. But when you're at the top, the only direction left is down, unless you adapt. While Intel basked in his glory, the industry began to shift. By the 2000s, the chip world split in two. Some companies, like AMD and Nvidia, focused on designing chips, crafting innovative blueprints. Others, like TSMC, mastered manufacturing, turning those designs into reality. This divide wasn't random. For one, chip production got insanely complex. Machines that carve circuits at the nanoscale, smaller than a strand of hair, cost billions. TSMC, with cheaper labor and fewer regulations, surged ahead, making chips faster and more affordable. Secondly, Intel started to stall. They used to lead the pack with powerful chips at around 14 nanometers, upgrading their tech every 18 months like clockwork. But between 2014 and 2020, that rhythm faltered. TSMC and Samsung not only caught up but leapfrogged Intel. By 2017, experts were saying rival chips were cheaper and faster. That was a brutal blow to Intel's pride. Then came 2021, amid a global semiconductor shortage. Under CEO Pat Gelsinger, Intel went all in. 2 new factories in Arizona costing $20 billion, followed by a mega project in Ohio pegged at $100 billion when finished. Backed by the US CHIPS Act, the goal was to bring chipmaking back home. The thinking was simple. Big money would draw more investment and signal commitment. But in reality, these unfinished plans have become a financial albatross. Last year, Intel doubled down, pouring $36 billion into upgrading existing factories in Oregon. The result? Their assets are now worth more than their market value, a sign investors have lost faith. To ease the pressure, Intel's even talking with TSMC about spinning off its manufacturing arm to focus on design, where they once excelled. But that's no easy pivot. While Intel was busy building factories, a new wave hit: artificial intelligence, AI. AI demands GPUs, chips that handle parallel processing, and Intel isn't a natural fit there. They missed the boat as Nvidia dominated the AI GPU market. Intel's AI offering, Gaudi, flopped, with sales projected far below the $500 million target. Its software stack couldn't keep up with the breakneck pace of AI innovation. In December, Pat Gelsinger was ousted as CEO, leaving Intel in chaos. Enter Lip-Bu Tan, brimming with conviction. He says he believes in Intel's potential with every fiber of my being. But is belief enough? Intel just posted its biggest loss in 56 years. They're pushing to reclaim ground in manufacturing, but it takes bold investments and patient investors, which is far from guaranteed. Still, don't count Intel out just yet. Apple nearly went bankrupt once, and look at them now. Intel has a legacy, a foundation, and maybe they'll find a way to turn it around. But if anyone claims they know for sure whether Intel will rise or fall, take it with a grain of salt. In tech, nothing's certain, just big bets and stories still unfolding.
Investors